Now, we just talked about who's number one in town, right? We talked about, now the Cavs made a deal for Donovan Mitchell, and it cost them 3 first-round picks.
Same thing, big boom or bust.
They can go, for a lot of people, from 1 to 3 real quick. Because if they don't get anything for Donovan Mitchell, and they gave away all those picks, you're going to say to yourself, you know what? Was it worth it?
It was a fail.
We should have stayed the task.
Before we talk about a Donovan Mitchell trade, I know you have a read, Anthony, and then we'll talk more about that very thing, because that's what Cavs fans are talking about now. Is it time to move off Donovan Mitchell already after 151-win season?
Yeah, so I just want to remind everybody that the lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by Colleague Companies Championship. You can see your favorite golf legends play in the Colleague Companies Championship July 12th through July 16th at the famous Firestone Country Club. Fun, family-friendly events all week long featuring a new fan zone, free attendance for kids, and concerts every single night. There's something for everyone. You can learn more at colleaguegolf.com. And this is also, we're going to get into the Donovan Mitchell trade. It's going to be brought to you by the USFL. It's the last weekend you can go see. Well, maybe the last weekend. It's do or die for Boogie and the Pittsburgh Maulers. $10 a ticket. Go down to Canton and support our man Boogie.
Are they
go watch
favored
the
in that game? I don't look at those lines.
I have no idea.
Who's the favorite? I can look that up.
Their offense is not like that. They better get
their offense is thin.
They better get them some safeties, some scooping scores, some strips.
Well, they had, 4 picks last week?
Yeah.
For the team they're playing is also 3-7 or 3-6. So
this is a winnable
It's a pretty even.
It's
the home
win
team.
and go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Win and
okay,
go to the playoffs.
good. All right, the Donovan Mitchell thing. Is it time to move on him?
I asked Jay. When we had Jay in here, we be grilling him. So we love to put our quotes out there and then say Jay said it. So Jason.
So he says Jay, he means Jason Lloyd, not
Jay. Jason Lloyd. No, here's the thing. I asked a lot of people, and what I did, I start from the premise. Okay, tell me why Donovan Mitchell would sign a contract here in another year.
He's not re-signing here.
Yeah. So if you start with that premise, right, that means you have him for next year, and then
he's in his last year.
He's in his last year. You can't. We're not moving. We're not doing the Francisco Lindor stuff. We need or Bieber. We need in the NBA. You need to get something immediately. All that trade deadline, you can still get no.
So the time's to trade him is now?
The time that you're going to get your best deal, your biggest move, is if you trade him. I think about trading him in the summer. Now, the reason they won't do it is because that would have meant that you made a mistake.
Right.
You traded 3 first-round picks for a guy that did not move your needle.
But do you live in your mistake to compound your mistake? Like what I said, what the Guardians are doing, putting Zunino and Bell in the lineup every day. They're telling fans, this wasn't a mistake.
No. I've learned from my mistakes. I learned from Kyrie Irving. I've learned from LeBron James twice.
So when you make them move on immediately as fast as you can. When
you made that move, what you can do right now is say, look, it just didn't fit. It didn't work. You can lie to yourself and say, this situation to get better, we'll group and we'll grow together. And even if you do go to the second round, right? Say you win the first round game, you go to the second round, you lose. Everybody still knows Donovan Mitchell wants to go where he wants to go. You don't have any control over that. So at the end of the day,
were you pissed that he threw out the first pitch at a Mets game?
No, I listen.
He's been telling you that for years.
If we got mad at every player who threw out a first pitch in a different city than the team they played in, then we would never not be pissed off. So I listen. He's a Mets fan. His dad works for the organization. Who cares if he threw out a first pitch?
Right.
The public flirtation between Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks is evident. It's obvious.
But you understand, Donovan's a smart kid.
Yeah.
And you also understand that he did the mental gymnastics on that decision before he did it.
Yeah.
And he still came to the decision, because he could have said no.
Yeah, but who cares?
He still came to the decision, I'm going to do it, irregardless of the optics in Cleveland.
He's telling McNuggets, he's telling Kobe Altman. That's why I didn't understand it. He's telling Kobe Altman, I just spent.
The first pitch, you mean?
No. He's telling Kobe Altman, when he said he's not making no trades, he said, oh, well, y'all just like Utah. Because I told you in Utah that I wanted to be better than where we was at.
Right.
And so they traded me, and I'm here. So I'm going to take it for face value. I thought he was having a good time. Everything is good. 71 points, 51 wins, all that good stuff. A GM that has a vision says, We got to make some changes because we view ourselves as a championship team. He didn't say it, so guess what he's going to do? I'm going to go to New York
Not
and show.
only did he not say that, he said, we're standing pat.
51 wins is a mark in this league.
No major changes coming.
The question Anthony asked in the rundown technically was, is Donovan Mitchell a rental player?
Yes.
That was the question I sent.
Well, yeah, I think we've answered that.
The answer is emphatically yes.
Sure.
And the reality of the NBA is every superstar you acquire, whether it's via the
That
draft,
is the
free
new
agency, or
reality.
trade,
You're right.
is a rental.
You're right.
I'm going to name some guys over the last 5, 6, 7 years who have been traded, requested trade, been in trade talks, who are at least in the same status, if not even higher, than Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Kevin Durant,
Yep.
Kyrie Irving,
Traded.
James Harden,
Traded.
Jimmy Butler, Rudy Gobert, who is still he has more All-Pro selections or All-NBA selections than Donovan Mitchell. He's not better, but whatever. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and I'm probably missing 4, 5, 6 more.
And did all those guys change teams?
Yeah, they all been traded.
Okay.
So
that's a great exercise. I'm glad you did that.
superstars in the NBA, superstars, they're all rentals. No matter how you label them, they're all rentals.
Is
the
Jokic-
only guys who stay are really the European guys.
Wait, I was just going to ask that. Is Jokic a rental?
No, I think he loves Denver. I think
he's staying there. I don't think he's leaving.
And like Luka, he could move.
This
I wouldn't
guy's
be
different
shocked.
now.
Oh yeah, he said I got.
Joker's a different
He's
dude.
like, I'm going back to Serbia. Like,
I don't need a
"Dang."
parade. I'm cool.
I said, you leaving the country? He was mad too.
So like there are certain exceptions.
Can we get a superstar like that?
Jokic may never move. Giannis may never move. Who knows? Like, but when it comes to the Mitchell trade, whether they should trade him now or next year, I think one thing to consider, or two things really. One, the Eastern Conference next season is a complete jambalaya of teams we don't know enough about.
Right, that's true.
So I don't think the Cavs were good enough this year. I think there's so much more uncertainty in the Eastern Conference next year that even without major changes,
So you think they could be
minor
better
upgrades,
because everybody else got worse?
Yeah, I frankly I
that's-
do, and I think a second year playing together with Garland, like they'll inherently be a little better. Mobley should take another step forward. That doesn't cost any money. They don't have a lot of money to spend on the roster to improve it. Do I think they're championship caliber? No. But I do think they're competitive enough in a down Eastern Conference to make some legitimate noise.
So you make the noise.
And then two, the other reason why I'm not sure it makes sense to move him now as opposed to next year, there's a lot of superstars who could get moved this year with the new CBA kicking in, with that second tax apron, which a lot of teams are looking at as like a hard cap. I don't know if your return on investment for a guy like Mitchell, a guy like Bradley Beal, who we might talk about in a sec, for a guy like Dame Lillard, is going to be as high as you think it will be next year when teams have a full year to flush their rosters of salary, get guys off the
And then
books.
those guys are available.
And those guys are available. So it's not like Mitchell, in theory, if the Cavs were to make him available, would be the only superstar available right now.
Right.
You'd be competing against guys like Beal, like Damian
So
Lillard.
do you trade him this summer?
No. I think
keep
you
him
run
for
it
another
back.
year
You run
then.
it back. You see, hopefully, best case scenario, you make the Eastern Conference Finals, you make the NBA Finals, and Mitchell says, you know what?
I can win
Just
here.
like McNuggets. He had no expectations for Cleveland, fell in love with the city. I don't want to leave now.
He's telling you. He done already told you.
And that could be true. But
You know what, Jimmy?
things
He
change,
has.
though.
He has.
told
But
you.
Mike brings up a good point, and I'll tell you why. The one thing all these guys want is hardware or a legitimate chance to win hardware. And what 2022, 2023, and the aftermath told Donovan Mitchell, we didn't get it, we're not close, and management publicly stated we're not making major changes, which means we're not likely to be close next year unless the competition all takes a step back.
Which I think it will.
And so if that's the case, right now, today, you could get more for him if you move him now. Yes. However, I like your idea of take a swing at it. If you're in the home run derby and you've got one swing left and there's a chance you could tie, you're not going to flip your bat and walk away and say, it's not going to happen. You're going to take that swing. You're going to try. And here's the thing. If the Cavs find a shooter, find a three, gel in the second season together, that's a great point that's probably haven't been talked about enough. It takes a season to come together. We saw that. If they, by chance, win 55, Boston steps back, Philly steps back, Milwaukee steps back, and they trip into a 1 or 2, and then get hot in April and May, who the hell knows? No one gave Denver a chance to win. Everybody kept saying, well, the winner's going to be out of the East.
I will tell you.
Can I ask you a question real quick, then I want you to go? Hypothetical, this is not a real trade. I'm just throwing out for pure, this is not real. I'm just throwing out an example. Let's say the Knicks, we'll use them because that's who he's flirted with. this summer offered you R.J. Barrett salaries that matched and 3 first-round picks this year. And next offseason, it was Barrett salaries and 2 picks. Would giving it one more run with Mitchell, in your opinion, be worth 1 extra first-round pick?
Yes, I would say.
Because I think that's the difference in trading him this offseason versus
a swing.
Is 1 pick.
Take a swing.
In my opinion, that's
And by the
worth
way,
going
those
for.
picks are likely going to be meaningless picks.
Yeah,
they're going to be 26, 24. The Knicks are coming.
Yeah.
The Knicks are coming.
So I don't want to cut you off. That was my question.
No, I will.
I'm trying to value what an extra year of Mitchell is to return on investment.
So I'll look at it this way, and if I would, I just go by. I just basically I'm going by what the predecessors have told me. When Kawhi Leonard won a championship and he left, unapologetically, it has never been done. Let's think about it. Kyrie Irving hit the biggest shot in history. He was drafted number 1 overall by the Cavs, hit the biggest shot in the history of the Cavs. Multiple 40-point games in the finals. Number 1 selling jersey, shot 25 times more than LeBron. The hottest shoes in the game. Kids love his shoes.
Still wear them today.
And he said, I got to go. That changes a lot the way you think. You're like, well, what else do you want?
There's no loyalty.
When Kawhi Leonard won, he won the championship, beat the Warriors, and was like, I'll talk to you later. You already know where I'm going. Yeah. And if you could exchange that for a championship, I would take it.
Yeah, I would too.
However,
what about the chance to win a championship?
If they got me to a point where I thought we had a chance, I'm all for it. The problem is when you start talking about getting rid of Jared Allen, people, oh my gosh, clutch my pearls. We can't do that. We like our core. No. When you get Donovan Mitchell and you give 3 picks up, nobody is safe. Yeah. Because that means you got to be able to be in a position to do whatever it takes to maximize everything for 1 to 2 years.
Right.
And that means you weren't prepared to do that. You just went and got, Kobe Altman wanted to just take his time, sit back, he could have let this thing grow, matriculate. He could have kept Sexton or got rid of him. He could have kept Markin, and he could have kept all those guys, right? And they probably still would have made the playoffs this year, right?
I would expect.
Now, he could have sat back, did it organically, nobody would have said nothing. But you got to think about when you make moves. When you made a Donovan Mitchell move,
you're all in.
It was the Deshaun Watson move on the other side. Right. Now, and when you made that move, we said, oh, you got 6 games, Stefanski. That's how much it ratchets it up. Like now, you look at that, hey, we trying to figure out. You got to at least this year, you got to at least go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
So I agree with what you're saying. The difference in the Kawhi situation and this situation is if they don't trade him now, they can still trade him next offseason. So you're going to get some return back for Donovan Mitchell one way or another.
A little.
But diminished.
It's diminished,
but
because then you've got 1 year of control.
And don't let him get hurt. Don't let him get hurt.
But look what these superstars have gotten back in return. I mean, Kevin Durant, who's a different caliber of player. Do not be twisted.
He's in the next tier.
But Donovan Mitchell is significantly younger, significantly healthier.
Yeah.
And contractually, they both make around the same money. But Kevin Durant just got traded for 4 first-round picks and 3 legitimate players who are now cornerstones for the Nets.
And it was a crazy trade.
I'm afraid.
It was way too much.
But that's what I'm saying. You'll get back more than I think you.
But I'm afraid. I'm afraid that Donovan Mitchell is the trade that you moved the new car off the lot. Once you moved it off the lot, you lost value. Think about what they gave up to get him.
Yeah.
They got Abaji, who was a first-round pick. They got Colin Sexton, who was a top whatever pick, averages 24 in the game. And then they got an all-star, a 7-foot all-star, and 3 first-round picks. So are you going to get a 7-foot all-star back for Donovan Mitchell? No. Are you going to get somebody to average 24 points? No. Are you going to get 3 first-round picks for him? No. Look at that.
So for that 1-year rental,
we got one
playoff win.
Which is why you can't. It's why I think you can't just get rid of him now. And Bill Simmons did something on his podcast probably 3 months ago. He talked about the 10 biggest trade returns, like players traded what they got back. Mm-hmm. And if it was either 7 or 8 have been in the last 4 or 5 years. So you're just the natural progression of the NBA is you trade a superstar, you get more. Rudy Gobert just got 5 first-round picks back for him. So let's not pretend that with 1 year left on his contract, you're not still getting a massive return for Donovan Mitchell.
Haven't we seen the diminished value of picks? Like, it used to be picks were gold, But you can do it without picks. There's other ways you can do it.
But right now
picks.
You're right. But right now teams are getting picks and players.
That's what I want.
I mean, the Nets got
because we
Bridges.
gave up picks and players.
That's what I need.
We lost 2 all-star caliber players and 3 first-round picks.
Well, that's why the fake trade I threw out to G. Bush was R.J. Barrett, who's a young player. Which I'm just using an example. Just
right.
Young player, third
Who came
pick.
up with the Bradley Beal idea?
The Cavs trade for that?
Yeah.
That was me, but I wouldn't do it. I just was trying to find something.
Okay, because I was wondering. I was like, God, is someone suggesting that?
No.
So that was just you kind of hypothesized.
Well,
like,
If they give me the first round pick, I would think about it because I don't think the Washington are going to be good. Wizards are going to be good.
Let's talk Bradley Beal for a sec. Let's pull.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first trade. So Bobby Marks proposed. So Bradley Beal is speaking with the general manager of. Start with the first one. The Wizards just hired an Emerson basketball alum. Shout out to Will Dawkins to be their new general manager. Bobby Marks of ESPN proposed 3 trades for Bradley Beal, and I was like, I'll just see what we can do with the Cavs one. So this is the first one that Bobby Marks proposed to the Heat. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, a top 10 protected 2028 first-round pick for Bradley Beal. The second one, Anthony, let's run down the list here. This was a Knicks trade. Evan Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, Derrick Rose, a 2024 first-round pick that was initially Washington's. They'd be getting their own first-round pick back, plus a 25 first-round pick. Next one, Ant. This was the 76ers. Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz, and a top 10 protected 30-30 first-round pick. Before you take the Cavs.
20-30?
Drop this real quick.
What's that all about, Mike?
They can't trade. The Nets have all their picks for the next couple of years. They can't trade a first-round pick for forever. So,
But do you really want a 20-30 first-round pick?
I mean,
if you can throw it in there and get somebody.
I mean, that player right now is 11.
Yeah.
The reason Bradley Beal is not going to get back as much as you would think is he has one of the worst contracts in basketball. He signed a 5-year.
Beal does have a terrible deal.
5-year, $251 million contract
Average is
extension.
$50 million.
Last July, his cap hits the next 4 years. 46.7 this year, 50.2 next year,
Jeez.
53.6 in 2025.
He has a 4th-year player option.
And a 4th-year
right?
player option, which, breaking news, I'm going to break this news 4 years in advance. He's going to accept his 2026, 2027 player option.
Well, of course he is. He'll be 35 years old.
At $57.1 million.
You know who's younger, more dynamic, and who has a better contract? Donovan Mitchell.
So,
way younger.
So
Donovan Mitchell's 26.
So
Beal will be 30 when the
30,
season
yeah.
So
starts.
if you put Donovan Mitchell on the market and you put Bradley Beal in the market, who do you believe is going to get if you're a team that wants to get over the hump? And the Donovan Mitchell
Give me
trade
Mitchell all day, every day.
But do you think any of the return, and you get a little more than that, or you get more than that for Mitchell, but
Yeah.
any of those 3 returns before we show the Cavs, Hero, Robinson in a first, Korkmaz, Tobias Harris in a first, or Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, and 2, like none of those is worth Donovan Mitchell getting back.
They're not moving the needle.
They're not moving the needle.
No.
Bradley Beal gets.
But Mitchell is more valuable.
That's what I'm saying. You get a little more, but
Let me hold on.
You're not getting.
Hold on now. Tyler Hero is a shooter. Duncan Robinson is a shooter. And if the Miami Heat want to give me some picks, just give me 2-3 picks. All of a sudden, I got shooters.
Okay, now that's a totally different issue.
I got shooters.
But in Bradley Beal,
No.
he's 30. His last 2 years, he's missed significant time with injuries. I know last year he had a knee injury, and then because they were out of it, they just shut him down.
Yeah.
He probably could have come back, but I think he only played like 50 games, something like that.
Anyone who trades for Bradley Beal, it's a suicide mission.
It is,
It's a
Mike,
suicide
because here's the rub with him. Aside from the $50 million average cap hit that he's going to have for the next 3 years, at 34 years old, of course he's going to exercise that, or he's not going to exercise that option and move. Because he'll never get that on the open market.
Yeah.
He's going to hold a team hostage in that year, his 34th year.
Man.
And he's going to have to be paid another $50 million, and that hit is too big.
He's a top 30 player in the league between 25 and 30. He's getting paid like a top. He's getting paid the
Do you
same
think he's
amount.
still a top 30? Because I think last year he kind of fell
He's
out of
He's
that.
on the fringe. Like, if you want to tell me he's 26 or 33,
The
I'm
last
not gonna
2
get
years,
mad, but-
Bradley Beal has averaged 7.5 points a game less than he did the previous 2 years.
That's tough. That's rough.
So there's
he-
a decline.
He
That's
gets
rough.
paid the same amount as Steph, as LeBron, as Giannis, and those guys are here, and Bradley Beal.
By the way,
I would.
By the way,
I wouldn't touch him.
my
Wouldn't
head
touch him.
cannon is going off. Like in my mind, I'm just this Donovan Mitchell to the Heat move. Could I get Caleb Martin too? Could I get him and give me Duncan Robinson And old boy, Tyler
now
Hero.
you're getting greedy. Now you're getting greedy.
I can't get Kevin Martin either.
Yeah, no, they're not throwing anything else in. But listen, I like that trade.
I like that trade.
I like your original framework of a trade.
I like that trade.
I wonder what Pat Riley would say.
What
to
would
that.
he say?
Well, my buddy is the video guy. I'm texting him
Man,
right now.
I got shooting off the bench.
That's where I love the trade. For that reason.
And you might give me a pick too. I get a pick
you
back.
get a pick back
Oh,
for it,
bitch, stop! I do it today, and they be like, "G. Bush, you can." I'm like, no. Now listen, he's gonna go down there and be good, but I mean, Miami needs scoring.
He might be the piece they need.
He might be Miami.
But what's interesting with how much tread does Jimmy Butler have on the tires?
I ain't counting that man out.
I know, I'm afraid to
I'm not
also,
counting.
but I keep looking at him saying, is he getting old yet?
He needs some help, though.
Real
He does
quick.
need
He
some
needs some
help.
help, though.
Real quick. Anthony, pull up the Cavs trade. They will not do this. I'm just saying this is if the Cavs are going to make a Beal trade. I asked G this yesterday. G said he would do it yesterday. He may have changed his mind. Jason said no way. I wouldn't do this with.
I wouldn't
touch it with a 1,000-foot pole.
I wouldn't either.
Have you changed your opinion?
I thought this is 2 first-round picks. What happened to the other pick?
No, we just said the 1 first round.
Oh no! I need 2. I need 2 back.
All right.
Unless they gonna give me what's that old boy? He's a Kyle Kuzma.
Well, Kuzma's a free agent. He's going to get $20 million.
Oh, he is a free agent?
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Yeah, because if he was under team control and we could throw him in,
that's a
now
different
I'm
story,
very
yeah.
interested.
Once again, that's not proposed. I just figured to have some fun
Yeah.
on the trade machine. If the Cavs were going to make a deal, that's probably the only one that works.
Yeah.
$43 million. They don't have a lot of contracts that have to $43 million, by the way. That's a lot of money you have to add up.
That is a ton.